All right, so I'm actually getting a lot of questions about what cards to invest in, which I'm pretty surprised that I get that question, but it makes sense. So I don't really say it that often, but I'm going to tell you exactly what I think. Okay? As a breaker, obviously, I'm hyping the cards that are hyped for good reason. Like Jordan Love when he's hot. I'm buying those cards because I know everyone wants them. I have to cater to the people that I want. If I was buying as an investment, that's not what I would do. You can't buy people that are already priced in. And so what I mean by that is someone's priced in if everyone's talking about that person. If everyone's like, oh my God, T-Law, that is not the time to buy T-Law. That is the time to sell T-Law. So if you're honestly asking me how to invest in cards that you think will do well, I'll answer this in a variety of ways. One, and this is what I think most people should do, is buy cards that you can hold for a long time and not worry. This is for multiple reasons. One, because, sometimes life gets busy. We're not we can't do these deals all the time. But two, this is something that people never talk about. The cost of transacting is so high. eBay takes fucking 15% or whatever it is. Think of how hard it would be to overcome 15% every time you do a deal. Even if you're right, you still might not win. So if you're talking about investing for the long run, I would advise buying in guys that will hold value for long times, like Mahomes. I would say he's a little bit priced in too. Like his cards aren't cheap, but I don't really think they will go down. And I think that it would be a cool thing to hold. It'd be a cool item to have. And you're not gambling that much. Now, if you buy any of the up-and-coming quarterbacks, the Herberts, even the Burrows, the T-Laws, the Strouds, these guys, you don't know what's going to happen. These guys could be worth zero in a year or 2 years, 100%. Like, for instance, if T-Law just gets hurt first game of next year, and people are going to be like, oh, he played bad end of last year, he could just end up being a nothing, too. So that's the long-term investing. Shorter term to mid-term investing, you got to invest in guys that are sleepers. You got to find a fucking sleeper. My big thing, and we joke about it, is I buy guys like Mike White, a backup quarterback, or Danny Dimes, someone that no one is talking about. Or if they're talking about them, they're talking negatively about them. And the way this works is, let's say you got a guy like Danny Dimes, right? His total market cap right now, meaning the value of all of his fucking cards, is probably something like, and I'm just guessing, is probably something like $1 million, right? Which is not a lot in the grand scheme of things of sports cards. So in order to pump that market, of only a few $1 million would have to go into Danny Dimes cards. And granted, that's not a lot. It might sound like a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money with how much people are buying sports cards. For your cards, so let's say $3 million went into it, your cards would 3 or 4x. So you got to look for guys like that. But still, keep in mind, the cost of transacting is very fucking high. If you're going to plan on buying the guys that are hot, you're going to get fucked every time. And that's what the fish do. They, CJ Stroud, let me get him. It's not going to go up in value. And if it does, then this is the last thing I'm going to say. I'm going to give an example. For my son, Luca, before the start of the 2022 season, so last season, I bought a bunch of Jalen Hurts rookie autos, right? People really didn't know about Hurts that much then. He had a meteoric year where he could have been MVP from nothing, right? I was like, oh my God, I bought all these cards in the summertime. I must be fucking crushing. Hurts has fucking come out of nowhere and he's destroying. Dude, I looked at the prices, I didn't even get 2x on my money. So think about that. You're buying a quarterback that, is hyped. He's a little bit hyped before that. And then he has the fucking best year of his career. He almost won the Super Bowl. And I barely 2x my money. That right there is a sign that you should never do that. Appreciate the questions, guys. The Hobby.